It's a crucial time period for the Carlton Football Club. They sit a touch below mid-table, but do have a top 3 draw in the back half of the season. Despite all that has passed, they might be a shot to play finals, but it's hard to see anything more than that. From the outside, it seems this group of players have a ceiling, and if they don't maul you at clearance and Curnow and Mackay don't go crazy, your team has a pretty good shot to win the game. At least this is what we have seen in 2025. Good stats across the board with defensive numbers, contest numbers and inside 50s, but way too much red in punishing the opposition and the all-important inside 50 kick. The Blues in their current form do a lot well, but the things they don't do well seem to be where the modern day game is won, best seen with Collingwood and Brisbane, who right now destroy teams on turnover and with their efficiency. But one man is at the club that can change all of this. Yep, all of it. The soon-to-be CEO Graham Wright is known for sweeping changes when he is the main man, and it's expected in the 2025 off-season, Carlton will have a different look on and possibly off the field. From an early recruiting role at Hawthorn in the late 2000s to becoming their head of football by 2018, Wright has done the work. In 2021, he left Hawthorn to be the general manager of football at the Pies, hiring Premiership coach Craig McRae, as well as transforming the club into what it is today. He was the one to oversee letting Brodie Grundy go, trading in Bobby Hill and Tom Mitchell, and structuring the club to let it flourish as the biggest in the country. He knows what he is doing and has a clear proven track record of premiership defining moves. Right now, he's sitting in the background as he waits for the current Carlton CEO in Brian Cook to leave at the end of this season. But it's obvious to many, Wright is already putting together his own plan to rejig the club. The Herald Sun reads, Cook refutes claims he will hand over the reins early, but says Wright is heavily involved looking ahead to next year. He needs to take a dominant role in whatever happens in 26. That includes everything, all of the planning, Cook said. It seems like Wright will have the keys to the Blues kingdom above all others. The opening line of the Scott Gullen article is the most ominous. As one insider says, incoming CEO Graham Wright knows how he wants the game to be played, and Carlton don't play that game. To know where the overhaul will start, you need to understand the man ready to call the shots. Although he is CEO, Wright's first job is to sort out the game plan. There are 2 directions to go here. The first is that Michael Voss and his coaching team simply don't understand the way the modern game is played or struggle to teach it, and it's mainly their responsibility for the bash and crash model the Blues currently use. The flip side is that Voss and his team are manufacturing the best game plan they can with the players they have, and the run and high level skill needed to play quick transition football simply isn't on the list. Of course, it could be a combination of both. It's Wright's job to figure out this equation and then act on it. Now, I'm not saying Voss's position is under threat, although he did come fourth in the Collingwood job in which Wright ended up selecting McRae, but there have been steady rumours that the assistants could be under fire. Some of the players will also be under pressure. From his time at Hawthorn, what Wrighty learnt from it was don't get starry-eyed about your players. Don't get emotional, a Hawks insider said. If you want a player and he's going to play a role for you, go and get him, and don't worry about the cost because you are getting him for the right reasons. Equally, don't get a player who's going to blow up your cap, or if a player has been a wonderful servant, but you can do something else, or there is a compelling reason why you need to save money, you have to be clear-eyed about it. It's becoming clearer under Wright that Mackay, Walsh and even Curnow are no certainty to be Carlton players if he deems them not essential in the game plan switch-up, and there are better options in the open market or in the draft. This all links in with the salary cap situation. Everyone knows it's not great. Carlton are paying all of their superstars big money, and it's why the rest of the squad is not full of depth. Again, this year injury has been a factor on field, but for their cap, it hasn't been. The before mentioned stars, and Chera, Wiedering, Williams and more, are on top dollar and in some instances well overpaid. Wright has shown he is not afraid to let big names go or simply cut players in the form of cheap trades. So what could possibly be some of these big off-season moves? The starting point is with ruckman Tom de Koning. It seems like he is already halfway to St Kilda, and no one can blame him. $1.7 million per season is far more than what the Blues could offer, and with Wright departing with Grundy before, it shows he has no issue letting a star ruckman leave. Mark Pitnet is a decent backup and has been solid when he is played. It helps clear some cap for Carlton and make sure they don't have another star on a big money long-term deal. And don't be surprised to see Curnow or Mackay go. Either one would have huge draft capital, and teams including Melbourne, Sydney, St Kilda and even Brisbane need or want a big target key forward. Letting say Mackay go would net at least 2 first-round picks and more, and might allow the Blues to address a small forward and midfielder at this upcoming draft, and it again clears more cap space. Even midfielder Sam Walsh could be trade bait. Yes, he is only 25, but the last few years have seen him struggle with his body and therefore his form on field. It's still unlikely a move will happen this trade period, but I don't think it would be a monumental shock either. Clearly through the draft and trade period, the Blues will be after players who can fit the way Wright wants the game to be played. Fast and skilled players are on the menu. Now it's easier said than done to get these types of players in, and with no first round draft pick in 2025, that does add another layer of challenge. This is where the Blues might have to get creative in their list management. Then there is senior coach Michael Voss. There are two camps when it comes to Voss, who took the Blues on a thrilling ride to the 2023 preliminary final in his second season. There is the great fella, commands respect and players love him, but tactically flawed side, and then there are those who say he's done a great job with the cattle he has, but they're not equipped for the modern game, and that's more a list issue than coaching. This is the ultimate question right now with Carlton. Wright is in the coach's box and looking at everything Voss and his team does on game day. At the end of the season, Wright may also end up going to Voss if he deems he is the one most responsible for the way the Blues play, and ask him to change his own methods. In a way, he could be coaching the coach, and if Voss believes the game should be played in their current method of high contested football and setting up defensively well, but not being overly efficient in attack, then that could cause problems internally. Answering this question, either being on Voss's side or on the other side, could decide his fate if things really do go haywire. We all know Wright makes changes, there will be plenty, and Blues fans will be hoping they can have a similar impact as they did on their arch rivals Collingwood.